Why does Twitter hate you? Okay, so last stream, I had a very forthcoming, vulnerable, and emotionally charged conversation about a topic that has been like, basically bothering me for months. Okay, going on years, which is Mogul Mail. And I think we spoke for like 20, 30 minutes. And the result of that, I think, was honestly a really good conversation, except for 2 clips. I was 2 clips away from perfection. Most of, I think, what was a very vulnerable conversation, which I thought through quite deeply, right? Where I'm not normally that vulnerable on stream, really came down to whatever the fuck Fearbuck posted, and that was it. Now, I thought we were past this as a society, but I think what people do nowadays is they take Fearbuck and they use that as the launch point for a conversation. And no one's going back to the context. I'm not saying it's not on me, but the reality is the Fearbug clip has 5 million views. My VOD speaking for 30 minutes at large has 160,000. We're in a clip culture world where people watch the clip and then they go to the comments and they say, Grok, can you contextualize? And it gets bastardized, and what your original intention was is irrelevant. There's no long form conversation had. Basically, I had a clip go viral from the whole conversation, and it was about Hassan, where I said, that dog 100% has a shock collar. Follow up, maybe, I think, I'm not sure, I might have gotten psyoped. That was the clip, which, that's on me. I speak quite outlandishly. I speak quite hyperbolically. And, I was feeling real good about myself for getting through the Mogul Mail conversation. Instantly got baited, but that is the game that we play. The game that we play is try not to get baited. The funeral clip, dude, the funeral clip is dumb. People are soft because I make the funeral. If you watch my stream, I ask every streamer I've ever streamed with, would you go to my funeral? I make that comment all the damn time. It's a slime-ism. And here's the thing, bro. This is what I realized, because at first I got heated. And then I was like, oh, none of these viewers are my viewers, because they would understand what I meant. Obviously, I'm not saying like Hassan dies tomorrow, I'm not going to his funeral. That's not what I'm doing, bro. I'm quite emotional when it comes to death. What I meant is when I retire from streaming and we die, hopefully deep into our 80s or whatever the average lifespan will be when we're older, we will not be in contact in that way to be attending each other's funerals. Which is why I always ask when I do a collab to XX Choco Bars, XX Janet, would you come to my funeral? And she goes, no, I will not. But the takeaway is I don't fuck with Hassan. I'm not going to his funeral, which is not my intent. I might have said the quiet part a little too loud for some people. I think a lot of people watch streams nowadays. A lot of people are very insanely parasocial with streamer groups and relationships. Brother, look at the OTV and Friends subreddit. They are basically people at the fucking grocery store opening People's Magazine, flipping through. What's happening with Brangelina? But it's the modern day virgin, and that's what they enjoy. They enjoy gossiping and getting deep into the relationships that streamers have between and amongst each other. It is like, it's a hobby, something they like to do, I guess. That's the shit that happens. So anyway, I think I said the quiet part out loud. Like, hey, I'm not friends with 95% of the streamers I collab with, which I will stand on. This is true. This is just a fact. I don't feel bad about saying this. I think other streamers agree, and it's not because I don't like them. It's just because a lot of people only follow me or only talk to me or only want to collab with me because I've had a certain level of success streaming and making YouTube videos. That is the only reason they even know of me in the first place. And that's fine. And maybe it's possible to go from there and form an actual relationship, and that is a lifelong friendship. That's very possible. But that's how all these relationships are. And as you guys have seen, some shit goes down. Somebody gets legitimately canceled. When I did my saying every slur video that is unlisted on my channel and Tim pushes it live and I get for real canceled, a lot of the people I collab with will never talk to me again because I will be a liability to them, and whatever value I might have had is now gone. Which is like kind of fucked up. But also, like, I understand the nature of the job. They're pursuing what their self-interest is. And if I'm dragging them down, they're not coming down with me, which I get. It's not genuine friendships here. It's mutual beneficial relationships. I remember talking this ad nauseum. You know who's someone who actually talks about this shit, who's real about it? Probably one of the few streamers who actually is real about this. Disguised Toast. Toast says it how it is. And he's one of the few people who will use his platform to be like, yes, this is the reality of what it is to be a large creator. Your relationships are predicated on a level of success, brand safety, relevance, and all of that. And once that goes, or once you retire even, people don't check in as much. Now, having said that, I know I have creators who are my friends. Because people reach out to me, bro. People reach out to me like I had a family member pass away. They were like, I saw what was happening on Twitter. And they were reaching out, which was sweet. I had some real friends do this. So I do have streamers who are real friends, I'll be friends with, I know, long after I'm done streaming. I know that as a fact. But that's 5%. At best of the people I've collabed with. And I was talking to Cutie about this because I was like, bro, how does Northern Lion do it? Because I want that gig. He's in his own fucking lane, boots up, he's just awesome. She brought up a really good point. He collabs with no one. He only collabs with his OG boys and basically no one else. I'm collabing with too many people. Collabing nowadays is almost inherently political. I mean, you can see that, by the way. Fucking people freaked out. People are crazy over a Cutie tweet, which, by the way, media literacy is gone. They read that tweet like second graders. That's just the reality. It's like collabing is inherently a political thing because it attaches you to someone and then you get involved in their business. And when you do an event, there's no shot I can be Northern Lion or Germa. Also not funny enough to be them, but it is what it is. But anyway, I do apologize. Got a lot of my friends in some heat because of that. You know, as a lot of very successful and amazing women through history, I will probably be Cutie's greatest mistake, okay? But she picked me, so, you know, eat shit. I bagged a bad one. I bagged a bad bitch. It'll be the worst part about her. Yep, and I hope to continue to be her worst mistake for the many, many years in the future. All right? That's my goal. And I apologize to her for dragging her in.